Hey guys, Mark here. Brand new beginner's guide for the ES500. Now, this is a brand new helicopter from ESky. The actual name that ESky calls it is the ESky 900. But I don't like the name, so that's why I started calling it the ES500. It also goes along with the ES600. So the ES500 is a 500 size helicopter. It's a great helicopter. You can buy this in two different colors. It comes in this blue, and you can also get it in an orange color. Now these are kit helicopters. They don't come with any electronics. You got to buy your own servos, gyro, speed controller, motor, battery, transmitter, receiver. You got to purchase all that stuff separately. It does come with blades. It does come with a blade holder. So I've had this helicopter for about a week now. I really like this. 500 size helicopter. So it's not as big as the ES600 here, but it's quite a bit bigger than the Belt CP. Now the ES500, it is kind of a scaled up Belt CP. The whole head is almost identical, just bigger. But this is a lot better to fly than this. And you can see here I've got the ES600, like I said, the eSmart, and I've also got the Honeybee Fixed Pitch version 2 up there behind me. You can tell I like my ESky helicopters, the gray helicopters. So I've put a couple flights on this. It flies really nice. I've got a kind of an oversized motor in this, so this thing's got a lot of power. It will get from A to B really, really quick. Great helicopter. It's got this interesting canopy design. Not sure if I really like that, but it's different. It's pretty cool because, of all the 500 size helicopters out there, you'll see a lot of clones popping up, and for once, it's not really another clone of a T-Rex. This is, quite a bit different. It's a light helicopter. The kit itself, this is really light. I run mine on a 5-cell battery, and I'll go into all the details of what I'm using on this a little bit later. But this is just going to be basic build guide of my ESky 900 here, the ES500. That's what we're going to call it from now on. So I'll just go ahead and show you what's in the box, tell you about some of my electronics, and then show you the first flight and stuff like that. So without any further ado, what's in the box? So the 900. Turn it around. You open it up. See, one cool thing about this helicopter is it comes pretty much all assembled. You got your canopy. You got your instruction manual. Always read the instructions. Down here, you've got all your screws, main blade holder. You've even got a motor pinion and some servo mounts, so that if you want, because you can use two different size servos with this helicopter. Got your skids. Down here, stuck to the bottom are your main blades. And then we got the helicopter itself. If I can get it out. Alright, the ESky 900. And again, you can see this comes pretty much all assembled. All you gotta do, bolt the skids on the bottom, mount the canopy, mount the blades, kit's assembled. Then all you gotta do is go ahead and put your electronics on it, so forth. So, again, ESky 900, pretty much all assembled. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything out so you can see a better look at it. Okay, you can see I've got the skids mounted, I've got the blades mounted, and the canopy's mounted. So that's all that's needed to build the kit. And as I started to show you earlier, you get the little package of screws as well as a blade holder. In the package here, you get this package right here. This will include the motor pinion, and also includes the screws for your main blades. In this package is actually where you find this stuff. In here, this is where you find the screws to mount your skids. And when you look for the screws, you want to find the 4 shortest ones, as well as the 4 silver washers that are in there. There's only 4, but that's what you use to mount the skids. And then over here, this package, you get a lot of small screws. And then up here, you got your servo spacers. Now, the small screws are used for the servo spacers. And the interesting thing I found out about these servo spacers is, now this kit can use 2 different size servos, hence the spacers. It can use standard size servos, or it can use smaller ones. Now, ESky tells you can use 18-gram servos. Problem is, I've only found one servo that'll fit in this spacer. The average size servos that you would use for a 500 size helicopter won't fit in this spacer. So, just buy yourself some standard size servos and be done with it. Another thing though, I found out, the motor pinion. This motor, well, the motor here, you can see it mounts down here. It's meant for a very short motor. Now, in comparison here, this is the ES500 motor. You can see the difference in height. Okay, now this helicopter needs a short motor, but the thing about this pinion is it's meant for a 4mm main shaft on the motor. Now pretty much all 500 size helicopter motors and then 600 size helicopter motors are going to use 5mm main shafts on the motors, so this pinion's not going to work for you if you've got a motor with a 5mm main shaft. Again, just buy yourself a new pinion because there's a very, very good chance that the motor you get for your kit is going to have a 5mm main shaft. Or if you want, just check it before you buy it. So again, this is the kit, the ES500. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the electronics and what I'm going to use in the kit and start showing you how I'm going to put it all on. Okay, so on to the electronics. So as I mentioned earlier with the servos, they have servo spacers, but to make your life easier, just get standard size servos. So I've got 4 standard size servos. Always make sure your cyclic servos are all 3 of them. You want all 3 of them to be the same. In case you're wondering, these are high-tech HS422 servos. These things work great. I use them in my eSmart actually. So I've got a Futaba tail servo with a cheap little Telebi head holding gyro. This I was actually using on my eSmart, and I took it off to put it on here because I got a new servo for my eSmart. So then over here we got the motor. This is a Turnigy motor I got from Hobby City. I don't know the name or whatever it was there, but so then I've had to get, because it's got a 5mm shaft, and the pinion included with the kit won't work, so I've got 15 tooth 5mm shaft pinions from Heli Direct. You're going to need, well then I'll go over here, I've got my electronic speed controller. Now I've got a 60 amp plush Turnigy from Hobby City. It was a great price. Now this one includes a BEC, a battery eliminator circuit. Basically what that does, that provides power to your receiver. Problem being, if this ever blows up, you know, catches on fire, whatever, you'll lose power to your receiver. So to prevent this, you could either use a separate battery for the receiver, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire in a BEC, a separate BEC. Standalone, you wire it into the wires, and it's good to go. And I'll show you about that later. But, so, you can see here, it doesn't come with connectors, so I had to buy 4mm banana connectors, as well as some Dean's connectors. Always make sure you've got heat shrink for them. And for this speed controller, I'm going to use a program card. This is my Hobby Wing program card, actually. But that'll work for it. And you can see here I've got the Spectrum AR6200 receiver with my DX6i. So now these are going to be the electronics I'm going to use, and then obviously battery pack later. But